No, not to laugh or anything, but obviously you guys are in the wedding industry, right? As a photographer and as a MC or a host, and you guys have been doing it for several years now. And I've been wanting to get you on the podcast for a while because I feel like both of you have inspirational stories to tell in regards to like your journey and the position that you managed to place yourself in within the industry. So, just to hit the ground running, I'd just like to know, how would you describe what you do as individuals and your place within the industry?
You first, bro.
Wait, you said you put him on here, so,
you go first.
You go first. You're the biggest mouth in this room, isn't it?
No, all right.
But first you have to introduce yourself, so let us know who you are and then what you do.
All right. So my name is Jeffrey Osei Tutu, from JOTPhotography.
Nice.
London-based photographer. I specialise in weddings. Been doing it for about 8 years now.
Okay.
So my main aim and objective is to tell stories through pictures.
Yeah.
Mainly like documenting the whole day. So that's what I do.
Okay.
I specialise in, but I'm not limited to just weddings as well.
But how does one tell a story through wedding images though? Is that based on your vision, or would that be their vision and the profile or brief that they'll hand over to you?
Okay, for example, every wedding is different. So you've got different cultures.
Yeah.
You've got maybe your Nigerian, Ghanaian, everyone does weddings differently. So it's the way I tell my stories of a wedding. So let me give you an example. I do a lot of Nigerian weddings. Yeah. More than, I'm Ghanaian though, but I do.
One of them ones,
I do more.
Is that where the money is? Yeah.
More Nigerian weddings. Hey, shout out to my Nigerians in that.
Don't shoot yourself in the foot.
Shout out to my Ghanaians.
Yeah.
But I do more Nigerian weddings. And their weddings are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I like the culture. The Yorubas. This guy is married a Yoruba lady. Yeah. And the Igbos.
She married a Ghanaian guy.
Oh, come on.
Get it right there.
So it's just how everything joins together. Everything is every single wedding is different.
It's different, yeah. So then you just take them through that individual journey based on what the brief is and who the individuals are in their culture and so
exactly
forth.
That, yeah.
Amazing. Now, Mr Tandoh, the legendary MC/host. Tell us about yourself, man. Who are you and what is it that you do?
We're going to be here all night.
You're not hosting this event, yeah? You're just asking questions.
This is the worst thing to bring an MC on.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of Mr Tandoh MC. And today I'll be your... I start... Do you know what? I've been in the industry now for about 4 solid years.
Amazing.
I've always hosted, done sort of MCing, mainly in churches.
Yeah, I remember those.
So in church, I used to do a lot of youth events on the microphone, and I think from there you just start to get used to it. You get used to the microphone, and people are like, oh, you're so good, you should do this thing. Yeah, very good. And then you start to think like, am I actually good? Like people tell me I'm good. And I actually started in weddings, but in photography with Jeff. So I used to just assist him with weddings, so it could be just holding his light, holding his phone.
So you're his runner, basically.
Yeah, I'm his runner, just whatever.
He's on a humble tip.
No, do you know what? And I remember doing a wedding with him in central London once, and I saw the guy that was MCing, and now I know him very well, and I was just like, this guy, what he do? It looks fun. I'm sure I can do it. I'm sure I can do it. And I remember speaking to Jot and then speaking to Andy as well, Simply Andy, and I was like, I think I might do this. I might take it seriously. And then my first wedding was in 2014. And from there, the rest has just been history. Really. And so that's pretty much where it started.
What would you say? What's your journey been like though? So what's been the transitional stage like? In terms of initially when you first started doing the church, because that's where I remember you hosting from initially. Yeah. I remember you being this little kid up on stage with mad confidence, confidence that no one else had. So I saw something in you, but I didn't know it was going to lead to the particular industry that you're in now. Yeah. So how would you describe your journey, and how did it transition from being on stage at a church to then jumping into hosting weddings?
I think the main turnaround for me, obviously having conversations with Jot as well as Andy. I think I had one conversation with Andy. I pulled him aside and I said, Andy, I think I'm serious now. I think
Is it simply Andy that you're
Simply
talking
Andy,
about?
yeah. I said, I think I actually want to MC, and you know how Andy is. Andy's like, Tan, you're not serious, man. If you're serious, I'll know.
Yeah.
And I said, tell me how you know. I said, he said, I will know you're serious. And I remember going away and just watching like videos of weddings and just so many things. I was thinking to myself, no, I actually could host people's weddings. But
So
I
you
didn't-
studied it?
Yeah, so I studied it. I wasn't entirely sure, but I mean, I'd done a few events outside of my home church, in other churches, and I was like, all right, cool, like, you know, I've done this. I remember doing an event for Caris.
Oh, yeah.
At the time when Caris was in Burgess Park, so this is a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah.
And I remember doing like, I remember being so young that I don't even think I drove. I think I was dropped. I think I had to be dropped. And I went and I did I think it's their first year anniversary, and I was just like, bro, like I'm doing someone else's event, and the pastor was like, oh my God, like, wow, the way, oh, you did it so nice. And that literally just start building the confidence from there. And this was way before I even got into the wedding industry. I'm talking about this is probably like 2012, 2011 when I actually did it. And then 2014, the beginning of 2014, I had that conversation with Andy, and I said, look, I think I'm serious. He goes, call me during the week. So I called him during the week. We spoke. He was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to do what you do. I want to make money that you make. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then he was like, all right, fine, this is what you need to do, you know, promote yourself, put an Instagram page out there, say you're a wedding MC. I was like, I've got no content. He's like, put it out there, say you're a wedding MC, do this, do that, do that. And I did it. And he was like, and I did it quicker than he even thought I was going to do it. So he realized it was serious. And I was like, look, Andy, start getting me gigs, like, trust me. He was like, all right, that's fine. When if there's any gig I can't do, I'll pass you over. And then, so I'm just waiting for that. And then a lady that I know was getting married, and she was like, oh, you can do my wedding. And I was like, really? Yeah. And I remember meeting them for the first time because I had to act like I had done weddings before. So I was like, you know, when I've been doing weddings I've been abroad, I've been doing this, and I met them in the house. I was talking everything. I was like, I've done all these weddings, you know, I can do whatever. And I think that, you know, they paid me like peanuts. I'm talking like peanuts, but I was happy. Like, it's my first ever wedding. Ghanaian and Igbo wedding at Portraiture Hall. And then I went, I did the wedding, and I thought, nah, this is me. Like, you just
but what gave you that feeling though? Was it like the crowd's feedback? You know, like you obviously get breaks in weddings or when the dance floor opens and people come up to you and they're like, oh, you were so good, man. Really keep it up, man. How long have you been doing this for? It's like 1 minute. But like keep it up, like you're doing a good job. And then you start to, you know, it's when people give you feedback of anything, you start to feel good about what you're doing. So it literally led on from there. And then Andy called me about a month later and was like, yo, I got a wedding for you. And I was like, serious? He's like, actual wedding? He's like, no, a fake one. But that's the...
you know what I mean? And then it just built from there.
No, that's amazing, man. But so, Joe, moving on to you. Obviously, there must have been a stage where you initially picked up your first camera, or you, I don't know, drew your first picture. I don't know how the journey started for you, but where was that? And then how did it then transition into getting to the stage that you are now?
My first camera was given to me by Derek's mum. Yeah. Derek plays keyboard in our church.
Oh, okay.
That was years ago. It was some small blue camera. It was like a toy one anyway. Yeah. And from then, we developed the pictures, and she was like, "Wow, you can actually take pictures." Yeah. So it started from then, and then as I got to secondary school, this was like in primary school. I got to secondary school, I started taking pictures for Sankofa magazine. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I think I've heard the name before. Yeah.
I don't know if they're still around. Yeah. But so I used to go to like raves when I was like in secondary school, just taking pictures. I mean, like
bad boy.
Bad boy. Listen, don't tell
me.
But yeah, I used to go to raves. Like I saw like Lethal Bees,
Young Man Standing,
all those guys. Yeah, Stratford Rex. And then it got to a point when I was in Rex. I was on stage. Lethal B was doing his thing, and then one bottle just came past. Like, and I was like, I can't do this no more. Because there was always fights and stuff, and then you're just having to run. Although that I had people like with me, but it was just becoming too much. So I left. I stopped working for them, and then I couldn't afford a camera because these DSLRs are just like mad expensive. Yeah. And then I kind of pursued a degree in multimedia.
So that follows suit from the hobby that you had picked up initially. So you wanted to develop on that. Yeah.
But funny enough, my multimedia degree had nothing to do with photography.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and then I even done a master's in it.
Yeah.
Still had nothing to do with photography.
Yeah.
And then I met one of my friends, Adebayo Derry, great guy. He's another photographer. He was shooting a wedding, and he asked me to go and he had to go out and do something. So he was like, "Oh, just point and shoot. Like, just take the camera and shoot."
Yeah.
Oh God.
Look at the bride and snap.
Right, I hope the bride doesn't hear about this, but still.
Yeah.
So I took the pictures from him. He came back and was like, "Wow, you can take pictures." I was like, "Yeah, I used to do it a while back, but I stopped." He's like, "No, you should get into it." So I actually one time begged my mum to buy me a camera, and she was like,
"What age was this though?"
It's like 22.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "It's £500. I'm not buying the camera." I said, "No, Mum, please, trust me."
Yeah.
She said, "No, I'm not buying it." And then I was able to persuade her, and she bought it. And then it kind of picked up from then. Then I was built upon my equipment.
Yeah.
And just pursued it.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So when you first, there's a question to both of you. So when you first started, like, what did you think the initial outcome was going to be? So let's say when you first started, doing your gigs, like let's say the second one that you got now you've been paid for 2 gigs.
Yeah.
You're feeling the buzz of it now. You're in the zone. You're excited. Like, what did you think the outcome was going to be? Do you think it was going to be like a passing hobby, or did you see the vision that would develop into what it is today? Because today, how many gigs have you done in total? Yeah. Is it in the hundreds?
Oh yeah.
So what was the vision that you had at the time? Did you see
Do you know what? I never thought that it would be something I would do as regularly as I do now.
Yeah.
I thought it's something, because when I first started, I was so hungry for it. Like the hunger was crazy. Like I used to breathe, live, everything was just a host. As you do when you first get into anything.
Yeah,
so I was always hungry for it. I just didn't know that people would like me, I guess, as much as they do. Like I didn't think that was the case. So you can only see as far as, for me, I could only see as far as my last gig, but I knew I wanted to do more. So I just thought, I'd sit there and just wait for the next one. I used to get an email and be like, "Oh my God," I went and quickly respond, yeah, I can do your wedding, da, da, da. And then after a while, you start to not sit there and wait for emails, because they're just coming in and they're just coming in. And then you get to a point when you realize, okay, people are actually starting to take you seriously. So now you got to take yourself seriously. And thank God it's crazy now.
So you didn't envision it initially. It just gradually developed.
It gradually developed, and it was like if you've ever played like GTA, as you drive towards it, it starts building up. Or any of these driving games, as you drive forward, then the buildings start coming. And, that's how it was for me. Then I started to see further that I can actually do this seriously. I can take it as a business, and that's where
the passion then start burning. Because one thing I get asked quite a lot in terms of having conversations with people is they always ask about passion, and people tend to be confused about passion. They assume that passion is something that you just like, something that you just got a burning desire to do. But I have a different understanding of passion. To me, passion is where you put your energy and your time into. And then it develops into a passion when you start seeing results. As in the example that you just gave. So you started doing the jobs, things started flooding in, and then it builds that excitement and fire within you for you to then carry on and move it on to the next stage.
Exactly. No, 100%.
I'll say, for me, it's your passion lies where you'll do something for free. Yeah. If you won't do it for free, then you're not passionate about it. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's how I built upon my business.
So you enjoyed what you did.
I love photography. So I'll just go out. All right, there's an event happening. Can you do it? This was when I was younger, and I'll just do it for free. Yeah.
So would you say it's an industry that you would partake in even if you weren't getting paid for the jobs that you're doing?
No.
so you
thank you.
Because the thing is, that's what I'm saying about passion. It's something that you have to think about, because like footballers, they'll forever say, I'll play football even if I wasn't getting paid for it. But that's because you're getting 200 grand a week. You see what I mean? So if they didn't put in that hard work initially in the first stages to develop it to such a stage where they're now getting rewarded for it, it's hard to keep that passion going. So it's like, first of all, you need to take action. So you realize something that you like, you need to take action, keep pushing, and then once you start seeing results, it helps reinforce that level of energy that you have towards it. You see what I mean? So passion is one of those tricky things. So in in talking about passion and energy to keep driving, what was that one significant moment that you thought, oh, I'm onto something? Like what that one event or that one booking or something that made you realize that you were onto something?
For me, it's funny. I don't think I've ever told you this.
Is it top secret one? Yeah.
Do you know what?
It is, isn't it?
One of for me, I'm a person that I'm encouraged by people encouraging. Like I always say to my wife, like I like when you tell me.
I like when you say my wife.
Yeah,
drop that in there.
But like I don't know. It's just maybe, but I like that whole idea of people saying, you know, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like I'm doing a good job. And I actually did a wedding once. I might have told you this. I did a wedding and Reggie Yates was there. You would never remember this. I hope you watch this, Reggie. Probably don't know who I am. And you don't care. But hey. Yeah. And I did a wedding and he was there. I actually done 2 weddings. One of my first ever weddings I've done, he was there. But he probably didn't remember the second time. But fine. And I did a wedding.
We're finding Reggie now. Yeah, hashtag where's Reggie?
Where's Reggie, bro? Reggie, shout me, bro.
Yeah.
Shout me. And he did a wedding and he came up to me and he goes, I love what you do, man. And I was like, serious? And he's like, yeah, man. The confidence on the mic, the charisma, just whatever you're doing, just don't stop. And I was like, right, like, and this is a guy that's, you know, he's a presenter. This is what he does. Like, he talks, and that for me was just like, wow. So if someone like Reggie Yates can say that, and this is a young guy just starting up, meaning me, like for me that was when I was just like, no, I'm doing it.
You're onto something.
I'm onto something here. Yeah. There's a reason why people are booking me. Clearly, there's something that's happening. People are liking something. So I was just like, yeah, and that for me was probably the point when I was just like, yeah. That was many years ago.
So is that form of like encouragement and push?
That push
that you needed
to do it. Yeah.
How was the push like from the family though? So like from your initial circle.
They've always been supportive. I mean, my wife now was my girlfriend at the time, and she before I did my first ever wedding, I was with her as well, so she's seen the whole progress as well. There was constant support. My family, everyone was just like, yeah, do it, man. That's sick. That's sick. Yeah. And even now, people are just like, raw, like what people pay you to come to that is so sick. Yeah, people pay you to come and talk. I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. I talk, and then you know the bank account is growing slowly. So that for me, it's family. Everyone's been great. At first,
amazing.
my mum was a bit skeptic because, as all African parents, I'm sure, it's like MC is not a job. And the thing is, my dad used to MC.
Oh, okay.
My dad used to MC at events for free. Like, Uncle Kwame will MC.
Those uncles that grab the mic.
That's it. Uncle Kwame was the MC for all of these events, and he's always done it. So it's even now when I talk to him, he's like, I can't believe people are paying you to do something that we do for free, just easily. That's just the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the way of the game. Yeah, so yourself, Jot, man, where was that one moment that you realised that you're onto something now? Do you know what I mean? You've arrived now. You're in the game.
I think it's when you start getting consistent business, and then like as you're starting to put your prices up, people are still paying, and you're like, I must be doing something right. Yeah. And then you get that first maybe international job. The first one I think was Turkey. Yeah. With Adebayo again, it was his job, but it's that first job that we done together. It was just an eye opener, and then just hit it all guns blazing from there. Yeah, for real. But funny enough, he said that his dad was a MC. My dad was a video man. It's kind of hand in hand, yeah. So but I'm not into video though. Okay. Strictly photography.
Well, so do you think like your parents being in the same industry, like, do you think the influence came a bit from your parents indirectly, or was it something that you saw growing up?
I used to, I see my dad MC, and like I literally even remember the days, but I don't ever remembering that in my process. Yeah. But now I am where I am. I kind of remember. Oh yeah, Dad used to. Does that make sense? Yeah, for real. And you used to go to African parties, and you know, you just see it. So yeah, I guess so. Maybe it has an indirect effect on it.
No, amazing. So now touching on that, so what were your like inspirations like in terms of your particular industry? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone who's in the same industry as you guys, but as a general, like, what's your inspirations that keep you pushing and keep you going on in terms of the work that you're doing?
I guess it changes.
So initially, midway, and then now.
Oh, this was a hard one.
We know now, anyway.
What's your inspiration?
Well, No, let's do yours. Alright, so my one started from. I used to follow a guy just always on his website, Jide Alakija. Like he's a mentor to me, like huge inspiration. His work was just out of this world. And one time I met him in Popular at McDonald's, and I said, "Oh, you're Jide Alakija?" He said, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm Jeffrey JOT. I've been trying to get hold of you."
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, take my card, drop me an email." I was like, "Oh, can I send you some of my work so you can like critique it?" He's like, "Yeah, just send it." Like, I sent it. I got airtime. I didn't hear back from him. And then, funny enough, one time he needed a photographer to help him out, and I got recommended, and then that's how we kind of linked up.
Did you let him know that he was the guy?
Yeah, I
You were the
told
guy
him.
that he aired it. Bro.
And he's like, "Yeah, well, we're here now anyway." So I started working with him for a little while, and it was just a huge eye opener.
Yeah.
Because I'd done a wedding with him in Nigeria of like 1,500 guests,
Wow.
and that alone, I went there with my camera. My head was just turning. Like it was just mind blowing.
Yeah.
To have so many people in one building, that was like probably like the biggest wedding that I'd done with him, and it was just that's how it just started.
Yeah.
Inspirational guy that I've now been able to link up with.
Is that someone who you're currently still working with, or was that
Not
like your
currently
mentor
still
to
working
begin
with,
with?
Yeah, not currently still working with, but we're really good friends. Haven't worked together in a little while. Did they shout me? Let's do some work.
Yeah. Is he still deep in the industry though?
He's
Yeah.
For me, I still look up to him. He's a great guy, and he's helping the photography community.
Oh, amazing.
With workshops and what have you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how like my inspiration.
Your inspiration. Oh, that's amazing.
But we've also got guys like Chrisman who are also based in the US.
Yeah.
They're like Chrisman and Two Man Studios. They're like the top dogs. They're charged.
Is that what like worldwide ones or
yeah. They'll charge from like 10 grand upwards for a wedding.
What? Just to take a picture?
Bro.
Hey, I'm jumping into
Tomorrow. It might be the new industry.
We're trying to get there. So yeah, they're top guys.
Oh, amazing.
Wow.
So the next question I was going to ask is, so at the moment, when it comes to weekends, particularly like between Friday and Sunday, when I go on my social media, I'm seeing a hell of a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
Particularly, I mean, based on the demographic that I'm involved in, obviously the black community, it seems like there's a wedding every single day.
Yeah.
There's more young people getting married. Is that actually the case, or what's boosting the industry?
Social media, definitely. I think more and more people are seeing weddings because, or maybe it just be an age thing as you grow older. You go through just like as you got older. When I was young, all I used to see my parents do is go to funerals.
Yeah,
because all their friends die.
Yeah,
that's happened. You start all dying as you grow older. So as we get into the marital age, you know, people around you start getting married. It could be that, but definitely social media is glorified weddings.
Yeah.
Weddings become such a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, luxury weddings, which is the phase that goes the phrase that goes around, you know, luxury weddings. I think more and more people are seeing that. And then, you know, I'm doing clients, some of them are like 19,
Serious?
18. Yeah.
And how much are they spending on their weddings? You don't want to disclose that,
I can't be disclosing that, but they're
big
paying
money.
me full price. So they're paying me full price then. But that's what it is. More and more people are just seeing it and proposing and getting married, and I'm hoping that their marriages are lasting, because I guess that's the most important thing.
I've also seen that it's become like a huge production now, weddings.
Yeah.
A huge production. Like people are proper investing in like big buildings, like venues to use. You've got Grand Connaught rooms and Meridian Grand. They're like some of the biggest.
Yeah.
Within
Oh, is that the big one on the is it the A406? Yeah.
So yeah, and they're not cheap. They're not cheap. We all know, like, just putting all the vendors together is not.
Yeah. Putting you two together is not cheap either, man. Cut there. But you said you done a wedding for a 19-year-old. Is that the youngest you've done so far?
I think so, yes. I've got a wedding next year for the bride is currently 18.
Wow.
Will be 19 at the time, so she's planning her wedding at the age of 18.
Amazing.
So yeah, but you know, it's really. I mean, people get married when you know they think it's fit.
Yeah.
I mean, amongst my friends, not many are married. So maybe I was a bit premature. Like maybe like so I get
to
it.
make you feel left out.
Yeah. So maybe
You left the game too early.
So maybe I was a bit
sending this to
premature. I
Mrs.
don't know,
by the way.
but yeah, people are getting married younger, and it's it's nice. Love is sweet, isn't it? Like it's a nice feeling. So if you're happy and this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, then why not?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, and they didn't ask me this question, I'll answer it anyway. I'm an MC, I talk.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the
much.
most satisfying things about my job, just being part of someone's big day. Because a wedding is probably the biggest day of someone. Could be the biggest day of someone's life.
That ain't giving
And
birth.
then,
Yeah.
exactly, and you're the one standing there, just talking to their people, and it's nice. It's
But
beautiful
do you
feeling.
find it weird that you're forever going to be in people's pictures and videos?
Yes.
Like forever.
I think
No, he actually likes it. In his
Oh, he likes it.
I get in front of the bride, like Jot, you taking a picture? Like, go there, like in front of the bride. Do you know what it is? I think the funniest bit is when you're like on a train or on wherever you're out somewhere, and then someone's like, "Oh, you're Mr Tandoh, right?" Or "Oh, you did my friend's wedding." You're like, "Who the hell are you?" Like, it actually happened to me on the train this morning, and a lady got my train, and she was just like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And I was like, "I'm fine." Like, do you know what I mean? And she was
She's
like,
gonna
"Oh,
see this now and be like, what?
Yeah.
It's gonna be mad. Yeah.
This was shown in 2014. So I think it's a cool feeling.
Yeah, no, I can
because
definitely
it's very different to photography, because his work is seen after the wedding. My work is seen on the day, live there and then.
Yeah.
So people see me right there and then. Like you can't miss me.
Yeah,
It's
so all the guests know
impossible
who you are. Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas photography, they might never know who the photographer was, but his work online speaks volumes.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
why he's so busy.
And it's strange because I know he's busy, because what tends to happen now is I get booked for weddings, not booked for weddings, I get invited for weddings, and I'll turn up and then, lo and behold, I see my boy Jot. They're just behind the camera. I'm like, what are you doing here, bro? Because you're assuming that you're going to someone's wedding who you might not necessarily know Jot or yourself. But the moment I turn up there, you guys are there. So you guys are very prominent in the industry at the moment, which is amazing to see. Obviously, knowing both of you from a very young age. I used to see a lot more of you. So it's almost... It kind of runs in line with what the work you're doing right now. You've always been like on front stage, whether it be church or whatnot, and you've kind of been like backstage, but at the same time you're in the same industry and having the impact that you're having.
Yeah.
So in line with that, so I was going to ask you guys, what's been the biggest battle in your journey so far?
Biggest battle.
Yeah. Like, what would be your biggest loss so far? Like, it might not be monetary. It might be like a job that you badly wanted, and
Biggest one.
If you don't know, I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
you got one.
Yeah. So
Sounds like you've been burnt.
my one
Jot
was
is burning.
My one was recently, October. I was sick. Like, I went on holiday to visit my cousin in Germany.
Yeah.
I was only supposed to be there for like 4 days, and I got sick.
Yeah.
And I got admitted to hospital.
I remember that one. Yeah.
And October was supposed to be my busiest month of the whole 2018. And I lost that on every job.
Damn.
Every job in October. So, and there's one specific one I wanted to do. It was a birthday, 30th birthday for quintuplets. I just really wanted to shoot it.
Yeah.
I was so passionate about it. We had spoken about it. Everything was done. The deal was done. It's just left for me to turn up and shoot this. And I couldn't do it.
Serious.
So that one there, that one really burnt me. But I mean, health. I've got my health now, which is very important.
Yeah.
And I thank God for that. But yeah, I'm sure another opportunity will come. 2019.
Bigger and better things.
I think mine wasn't monetary. Well, I guess you lose out on money, but I think mine was when I first started. I really wanted to do weddings abroad. I don't know why. I really wanted to do it. Now I'm sick of it, but I wanted to do weddings abroad like a lot. And I think the first opportunity I had to do a wedding abroad, I was booked. So I was booked here. Obviously, if I'm booked, I can't. There's physically nothing I can do. And this wedding was in. It wasn't far. It was Sicily. That Italy.
Yeah. That's where the mafia's from.
And the thing is, I really wanted to do it because I was like, abroad, and this wedding was like in Tottenham somewhere. If you weigh up the options,
What are you saying about Tottenham?
Yeah, no, but you know,
if you weigh up the options,
Shout out to the Tottenham massive.
But like, so you just weigh up. Is like, imagine putting that on your social media like I did a wedding abroad. Like people are gonna
You
think,
got the
wow,
filters on and
yeah,
that.
you know what I mean,
Yeah.
this people are gonna think, and I think that was me for me. Like I was just like, man, but then you just think to yourself, you know, another time will come.
Definitely.
Another time will come. But I think that was the biggest like pain for me at that point when I was just like, man, I wish I could have done it and I missed out. And then you know, thank God, is now I've been able to do a couple abroad.
Oh, amazing.
So
And obviously we touched on the losses now. So what's been your biggest win so far? Just that one single job you had that you just thought, wait, I've landed now. This job is it. Like it's a big job. It doesn't have to be monetary. It could be maybe the individual who he was, or maybe the location, or just something about it that you just felt this was the biggest job I've ever done.
Biggest job I've ever
Biggest
done.
job. You want to check your bank balance now? See when that big check came in.
No, I'm very
Flat rate.
flat rate. Yeah, I don't like to. I don't like to exceed past the price that I'm saying. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
Nothing. I know my wedding, you're gonna try and charge me like 15 grand. Or
20
See?
20K. No, do you know what? I've done quite a few, and I think I remember back in 2015 maybe. I did a wedding for a guy that worked for.
You should disclose this information, bro.
Yeah, I don't know if I can, but I'm thinking he works for a company.
Oh, okay.
I
Was
just
it like a
say-
financial company?
No, it wasn't a financial company. Actually, it wasn't a financial company. He worked with a very well known brand,
Oh, okay.
and there was a lot of celebrities there, and not even like some like really big celebrities actually.
Can you name
And
some? Let's know what you're working with.
Reggie H was there actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was the second time.
Yeah.
There was like big people, like couple people from MasterChef.
Oh, nice.
What's that baking show?
Great British Bake
Bake
Oh, yeah,
Off.
Great British Bake Off, yeah.
A couple of these people there, and I was just like, oh, this guy's is somebody. Like,
Yeah.
The thing is, you didn't even know before because you just see, you know, the couple's names, just two Nigerian couple. You just think, oh, okay, cool, but you don't actually think, you know, and then you get there and it's like, wow, this is huge. That was good, and a couple weddings I've done abroad. The last wedding I did abroad of Marvin and
Oh, yeah, I
Becca
saw that one.
was out of this world, man. It was literally an amazing wedding, and although like nobody there was crazy, well, actually Dapper was there, which I guess you class as a celebrity, but there was a couple. But it was just the vibe of it. The vibe of the wedding was just out of this world.
Yeah.
Like completely out of this world, and I'd still up to today probably class as one of the best ever weddings I've been to.
So what makes the wedding for you? Was it is like the energy?
Do you know what it is? I know straight away when a couple is loved. It's
for real?
people. I know it sounds so like
That's
I
a
guess
skill
they
set
are
to
loved,
know.
but
Yeah.
I can get there and I know the crowd that love the couple, and it makes my job easier. And I literally got off that. I think when I actually got to the hotel, when I got off the plane and got to the hotel, I could just see the buzz. I could feel the buzz in the atmosphere. Like people were just
genuine.
and you know when you go to a wedding abroad, you go to the ceremony, you do you know you're there for the whole day. So and I could just feel it. Like this is gonna be one of those weddings. And literally, you start talking and everyone's just ready to just banter, the jokes, the vibe, the live, just everything about it was beautiful.
So what you're telling me now is basically when you're having a wedding, you should invite people that actually care about you, and not just everyone from your mum or your auntie's church.
Of course.
Basically,
And you know, and I do
because you
some
want that
weddings.
genuine vibe.
Yeah, exactly. I do some weddings, and you know, and there's 900 people there. About 200 know the bride and groom. People are just talking, and you
Club
just
is
don't
just a
feel,
motive, isn't it?
and you're almost looking at
It
your
becomes like
clock.
a market. Like,
It becomes a market. And you know, I remember, and there's times I go back from weddings, I'm like, babe, I think I'm not gonna do like weddings bigger than X number or what, because there's no point. And you know, some people they just invite everyone because they think that they should. Yeah, I want to have a big wedding. I want it to be a rave. I want it to be this, but it's not a rave. It's a wedding. You know what I mean?
The vibe's not genuine
It should
either.
be
as well.
Exactly.
Like,
The vibe's
yeah.
not
Really
genuine.
intimate.
Yeah.
Right.
What would you say is the ideal size? What would you guys say is the ideal size for a wedding?
It's not even size. I've done weddings of 700 people and it's been beautiful.
Oh, okay.
I've done weddings of 50 people and it's been pathetic.
So it's just
like it just no, I'm joking. No wedding is pathetic. No wedding is pathetic. No wedding.
Yeah. So you're just saying that as long as the love is genuine, as long as the people around you genuinely care.
feel it. The bride and groom are loved. People love them. They love each other. It's just nice, and it helps.
Yeah.
Everyone's in a good mood. The bride and groom are happy. And I always say the hype or the mood is set from the bride or groom. Then the bridal party You can tell they're really on it. Bridesmaids are crying, groomsmen are crying, everyone is crying.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? They have a story, and then it trickles down, and then I can just go in and you know do
your
what
thing.
I can do.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
So just quickly, do you think that what you just explained, do you think that's something that you have naturally, or something that you kind of built up doing weddings?
I think you to be able to speak in front of people is a gift. It's very difficult, and even now I get on the microphone and I still before every gig I get that nerves. I need to use the toilet. Every single wedding I have to use the toilet because it just gets rid of the nerves. Yeah. But then the minute I touch the microphone,
you come alive.
I understand why people say they have it in the ego.
Yeah.
I get it now. Because as soon as I get it, before the wedding, whilst I'm waiting to start, I'm just like, it's natural. But then as soon as I touch the microphone, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a different person. Yeah. And then I put the mic down again and I can't talk for nothing.
It's back to normal.
So.
Oh, amazing. So Jot, tell me the biggest job you had. What was it?
I might have two actually.
Yeah.
So the first one, which was in Nigeria, was for a...
You would be a Nigerian, innit?
Yeah. I'm telling you, look, I love my Nigerians. Shout out to the Ghanaians. Yeah. He owned a bank.
Oh, wow.
And he was retiring from his bank in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And he had I think they had 15 photographers.
Serious.
But shout out to Julia Lakija again. He brought me on board this job. And Mariah Carey came to sing.
Serious?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not cheap booking.
You didn't tell me about that.
John's mouth dropped
This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Serious?
Yeah, I haven't been...
I didn't even see it on Snap. Was it like a band or something?
No, exactly. I'm not showing you those images. Come and see me privately. Maybe I'll show you one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was probably one of... Actually, yeah. That was one of the... my first... Yeah, I was actually starstruck. But yeah. That was a great job. And then the second one, which was exactly a year today, we left to go to Sierra Leone to do a wedding for the president's daughter.
Wow.
Now that experience alone, and I say it was mind blowing. It's just to be there. Then you're literally, the president is here. You're here. It's just a whole different experience altogether. Great experience. They looked after us really well, and I just loved it thoroughly.
Yeah.
We kind of documented the whole building of the whole marquee and the process of the wedding, and the couple were in love. That's the main thing. They really loved each other. The speeches were awesome. We had dignitaries from Ghana, Nigeria, and they all came to support, which was great. But yeah, that's one that I'll definitely live with.
But what leads you to jobs like those? Or is that like a form of recommendation, or is that through...
I think it's all through social media as well. Social media is very powerful. Instagram, but YouTube is another thing.
Okay.
From what I know, is after Google, the next biggest search is YouTube. So.
Yeah. And then also, obviously, with all of that to the side, because obviously you can have your social media profiling, you can have your videos on YouTube documenting all the work that you do, but in all, it all comes down to the groundwork that you're putting in, and then the foundations that you both built for yourself, because without that, no one's going to book you, because I can put on my bio tomorrow that I'm an MC or a photographer or videographer or whatever, but no one's really going to book me. But you guys have actually done the initial groundwork. You put in the hard work initially to get yourself to that stage where now you're able to get booked by celebrities and dignitaries and so forth. So that plays a major part as well in terms of the grind.
You have to work hard.
There's a lot with photography. It's not, I take the pictures and then clients think, okay, these are my pictures now. It ends there. No. That's probably 20% of the work. Yeah. You're now going home to, maybe you've got 7,000 to 10,000 images to go through. Yeah. And we'll probably select about 700. Yeah. Of your best images and present that to your client. And trust me, if you're going through one by one, it takes a long time. So there's a lot of sleepless nights.
And that's the hard work that people don't see though, because ideally, if I see you at a wedding, I'm just going to assume that you're coming to take pictures, download them on a USB key, and then hand them over to the bride and the groom.
Obviously, I have to edit, and then I now give you your pictures, you review it, you're happy, and then you now want to book buy an album.
Yeah.
And the album, you now have to select the images, send them back to me. Then I'm now have to do the album layout.
Yeah.
And then send it off to the album company that I use. So there's a lot of back and forth, which people around don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might think, photographers charge a lot of money.
Yeah.
Trust me, there's
a lot of work that's required.
A lot of work.
And I'm sure with Mr Tandoh as well, you don't just turn up, grab the mic, and then start chatting and go home. Like there's work prior and afterwards as well.
And during. It depends on the client. It depends on the culture. You know, if I'm Ghanaian, if I put Ghanaian wedding, it's easy. But if I get a Congolese wedding, I'm gonna have to start learning some Congo, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I get a Nigerian wedding, I gotta learn some Igbo, Yoruba, whatever it is, Yoruba, whatever the tribe is, you have to kind of understand the culture, because there are certain things that run for one culture but don't run for another, and you've got to be very conscious. So it could be religious, you could do a Muslim wedding in comparison to a Christian wedding. There's just certain things that you have to take into consideration, and that's why you have consultations with your clients, because you learn about their family, what they like, what they don't like, what they want to do, what they don't want to do, and that helps. Obviously, I don't have the aftercare. I can just put the mic down and I'm done. And that is
that the only equipment you're packing up?
I pack up and I'm out, and that's it. That's it. But on the day, it's such a big role. You literally are managing that entire event, and you have to make sure that you are catering for different crowds, especially if you've got a Caribbean crowd and an African crowd. How do you now balance and make sure both you're African, everyone knows you're African, how do you now make sure that the Caribbeans feel equally as involved, because they're equally as important on that day? Or if you do a Caucasian couple with a Caucasian bride and I've done a Russian bride and a Nigerian groom. Yeah. And it's like, where do they even meet?
Yeah.
Like, how did they even meet? That's the first thing. And then
Tinder.
Secondly, yeah, exactly. And then secondly, how do you now merge those two cultures so that the day is beautiful? So there's a lot of YouTube. I go on YouTube and I have to learn phrases and things like that. Yeah.
And it's actually amazing that you're telling me this information, because I think one of the most important things that I want the audience to understand is that in everything that you do, there's a high level of pride that you need to take into your work. Yeah, 100%. Like there's a lot of work that's required. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of reading. There's a lot of understanding as well. So you're then able to then harness your skills, improve on them, and then deliver the service which you do. 100%. So it's amazing, both of you telling me this information, and ideally the audience and the listeners as well. So thinking back a couple of years now, what would you tell your 15-year-old self? So let's say you're at this stage you are now, and you can see a 15-year-old clone of yourself. What advice would you give them based on the journey that you've taken right now? Like, what sort of knowledge would you impact on them? So this is to improve the position that you're in currently. What would you tell your 15-year-old self?
I would say consistency is key. Yeah. Be consistent in the passion and what you do and how you do it. Integrity. You need to be someone that takes pride, like you said, in what you do. You need to remain professional at all times, and have fun with what I do. You have to have fun with it. If not, you won't. You can't do my job without having fun or without being a bit silly. You have to. So have fun, be professional. So I have two very different sides. Like if you send me an email, the level of professionalism, you would even be confused that it's the same guy that is hosting the wedding.
Busting those jokes in that.
Do you know what I mean? But you have to be like that, because like I said, this is people's big day, so you need to make sure that you are making sure people need to feel comfortable. Yeah. When I have consultations, you have to feel comfortable. So you have to be professional, consistent, and have fun. Yeah. For me, definitely.
Amazing. Jot, what would you tell your 50 yourself with a £5 camera? Rolling through the streets.
I'll say money.
No, I'll say one word is discipline. You have to be extremely disciplined. Yeah. You're gonna get not clients per se, but their guests. So a lot of them can be very rude.
We didn't even talk about that.
Literally, that's a whole different topic. They can be very rude, and if you're having issues on that wedding and it's not going well, that can just trigger you off. Yeah. But you need to just remain like professional, as Mr Tandoh said. That's very important. And a wedding only happens once, so you need to be hungry as well. Like keep on shooting, because this wedding happens once. You can't replay it, because the money which has been pumped into this some people are spending like 30, 40, 50 grand into their wedding, and you can't say, oh, I missed something, so can we redo everything? So you're gonna call tomorrow. Are you really
Let's
gonna call
rebook the venue. Yeah,
are you gonna call the flower people to come do the limo? And oops, I keep throwing it, dropping this. Yeah, you can't call them to come again. So it's literally a one take.
Yeah,
you can't replay and reenact. No, it doesn't work like that. Bearing in mind, there has been clients who've gone with a photographer to do something and it hasn't worked out, so they've had to reenact everything.
Serious?
Down to like the church ceremony.
No way.
Yeah, and then going to like a hotel just to do portraits after.
Serious?
It has happened. So,
Well, what happened? So what? They entire picture selections were messed up, or
they weren't happy with it.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it does.
It
Don't book the wrong photographer.
Listen, I would say for a wedding, like one of the like key things, well, a few of the key things is good food, good DJ, good MC, good MC,
Yeah.
and you want to document it really well. So
Yeah.
pictures and videography is very important.
So, saying that for both of you, do you feel like a lot of pressure on you on the day? I know you said about the nerves kind of before you touch the mic, but do you feel like you have this is like a one chance thing? There's
It's all on you.
is the pressure. How do you deal with it?
For me, when it comes to weddings, I don't get nervous, but I do get really nervous. Like it's so crazy when people are about to propose, like doing a proposal shoot.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That one there, it's like my hands start shaking. I recently done Charlie Biggs's one, and
Man,
that
like
one
Biggs,
there,
yeah.
they had me like hiding in like a wine cellar, and it was,
Serious?
it was freezing. Like, me and the video guy,
All for the gram.
and my hand was shaking like I don't even know. But yeah, I get nervous when it comes to proposals, but weddings, not really.
How comes though? Why the proposal? Is it because the wedding's like there's loads of space to hide in, but the proposal is just you three?
I don't know. I think on the way to a wedding, I kind of psych myself up. And then by the time I get there, I'm quite okay. But when it comes to proposals, it's like anything can happen, man. I'm not saying that the person's going to say no. I'm not going to say that she's going to say no, but it's just, you just don't want that awkward break. I know I've done this guy's one and I was sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not the only one, boy.
He was sweating and I was sweating. It was mad.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It does. Proposals, they get me.
I think it's more uncertainty, I guess, because wedding, you really said yes, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's probably that.
Yeah.
It probably is that.
But have you had a proposal where someone said no, or like it went horribly wrong?
God forbid, not under my research.
When you book JOT, you don't get that, though, do you? Yeah. How do you do with the big moments? Because everything is on you pretty much as an MC, like as a host.
I think with experience, you tend to certain things you become immune to, or you understand more, so you know how to deal with. I think the biggest thing is dealing with situation, because if things go wrong, they always come to the MC, and you kind of need to be able to provide answers. Yeah. Because then if you can't, you look like you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. So when I first started, like certain things I just didn't understand what needed to be done, or you know, sometimes we're 3 hours behind time, and how do you bring that back, or things like that. So that's probably where the biggest things are. You get used to it, and you just have some things you just have to block out. You have to block out, and people as well, as you do it more, people know who you are. People have more confidence in you. So the way in which people talk to you, or they ask you for things, they kind of know you know what you're talking about. As opposed to when you're very fresh, it's like, who's this small boy?
This guy's been in the kitchen and told the kitchen staff what to do.
Yeah,
but
like you have to do it. You have to do things, like, you know, and I mean, so about 3 years ago, I started event coordination. And sort of part planning.
Shout out to MT Events and that. Come on,
So in doing that, I did that because I realized that I was working with a lot of planners that didn't know what they were doing, and I was thinking to myself, wow, like you guys are charging crazy money, and you don't know what you did. And I've worked with fantastic planners, like some really amazing planners, and so as a result of that, I was really sort of burdened to do it and make sure I do it right. And you know, I hope that the clients that have used my team have been really happy with the service that we provide. So yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And obviously, from watching you guys both on social media, and particularly you, because you're always on the mic and stuff, it seems like most of your clients are always extremely happy with the service that you're delivering.
Yeah, I hope so.
You must be doing something right at the moment, yeah.
Unless they just say it to me, then they go back, oh, he was dead. He was dead. Yeah.
But then the thing is, because the wedding is all about like the hosting and the controlling of the crowd, like a big responsibility is burden on you. So like you have to be professional and you have to know what you're doing in regards to your role. But in going back and just talking about the wedding industry as a whole, like what would you say to someone wanting to get into the industry now in any compartment? Like what sort of advice would you give them?
Do it.
I know you don't want any more cameramen, any more photographers in the industry, but what sort of advice would you give to
if
someone?
you're going to do it well. Don't cut corners. A lot
Don't undercut.
Yeah, don't undercut. A lot goes into it. If you need advice, like I'm willing to give advice. I'm sure my social media handles and email stuff will be somewhere. Just do it and do it well. Like don't do it and then you don't even have a contract to show to your clients, and then you're now calling to say, oh, what should I do? Have like these things in place. Like have your contract in place. Have your liability insurance in place, and be a registered business, man. If you want to do business,
be registered.
be registered
properly.
Like
Please
don't
do it properly.
like clients can get your bank account shut down quick.
Oh, for real.
Yeah. So you need to be registered and do it right. If
I think
you're
in
gonna
anything
do it
people do, they should take an element of professionalism into it
Yeah.
because it's your livelihood at the end of the day, and people are only going to respect you based on how you carry and respect yourself. So
I mean,
that's
there have been
essential.
people like they've done jobs. They've been working for like 3 years. They still don't even have registered business or a contract. So when things have gone wrong, like I can help you, but I can't. Do you know what I'm
only so
saying?
much you can do. Yeah.
You need to protect yourself and also protect your client. So.
For me, I would say definitely ask questions, speak to people. Because when I started, I was sliding into every MC's DM, and all of these are people that are now. I'm I think I give JOT as an example. He probably won't, and actually does remember because I always remind him. But when I first started, I sent him a video of me MCing, and I was like, oh, hi JOT. but this is the stuff you do with it. Like you're brand new, and this is someone that's been in the industry, and I look up to people like that. They've been in the industry for ages. So I sent him a video. I sent people like Charles and Mecca, all of these people with videos, and I was like, oh, like let me know what you think, what advice you can give me. And I remember JOT aired me, bro. He aired me on Instagram. I remember, but now
rubbing shoulders together.
I phoned him and be like, hey, JOT, can you take my gig for me? Or these sort of people. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, ask questions, and I'm glad. I get so humbled when people like reach out to me and say, oh, what advice or can you help me? I'm starting up. I'd love to give, because there's work for everyone. I can't do every wedding, so the more people the better.
Do you know what it is? Like, from everything that kind of both of you said, with kind of contacting people when you guys were starting out, you do, like you said, you do have to have like a certain level of determination, because both of you have said you both contacted people you admired and they both aired you. So I think it's important for you guys kind of emphasize like how much you do have to still go out, even if you get the air.
Just keep
still,
going.
Just keep going.
100%.
Yeah.
Please, if I've done that to anyone, just email me
Yeah,
again.
Please.
I'm open to help.
Nah,
you
I don't
any
think
way,
I
shape,
don't
or
think
form.
I air anyone, but I don't think I've had enough time for people as I should.
Definitely, and that's what comes down to sometimes.
There's a guy that's just started up recently actually, and he, I saw him at a wedding. I was talking to him, and now I'm seeing he's doing damage. He's really like he reminds me of me when I started, and he'll do well. Yeah, he will definitely do well, because in this industry, people believe in what they see. So when that social media, when you're creating a buzz, who's this guy? People just start getting inquisitive. This is how people are. Do you know what I mean? And then, they start booking him.
Oh, that's amazing.
But book me first.
And if you're not available, then go to the second dude.
They go to him.
No, definitely. But it's been amazing having you both on. But before I let you guys go, because I know it's a bit of a late one we're recording today. I know you both are busy guys and that. But what are your future goals? What's the next step for you guys? What's the plan for the business as a whole, for the industry? What you guys got?
For me, I'm currently working on a project. So I've been documenting stuff within and around Africa. So I want to do an exhibition.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Showing that.
I didn't know this one.
He's not telling you anything. He's your boy there.
We're supposed to be boys.
This is going on YouTube, so I don't know who's seen this.
He's just trying to plug your YouTube.
It's going on YouTube, so I don't know who's seen this. But yeah, so I want to do an exhibition on workers within and around Africa. So showing the whole spectrum, from the hawkers to the guys living in the luxury houses,
Yeah.
and etc. So yeah, that's one of my main
Amazing.
things. So I'm
Is
off
that-
to Ghana soon.
Yeah.
To start. Well, I haven't started. I've started it already. I've been doing it for about 3 to 4 years now,
Oh,
taking
wow.
pictures.
Oh, wow.
So the archive is building up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So hopefully 2019 or 2020,
Yeah.
I should be holding.
Is
my
that going to be
exhibition.
like in a show, or is it like a album you're putting together? So-
We can't release
Oh,
that.
we can't disclose that.
Wait
Yeah.
and see.
So that one,
Wait
I
and
can't
see.
actually tell where. Well,
Okay.
it's happening in the UK anyway.
Okay,
so
amazing.
That's where it's happening. But yeah. it's-
But whatever it is, I'm definitely going to be supporting and advocating
Yeah.
for it. So
awesome.
we'll definitely be looking forward to that,
So
man.
yeah, that's one of my goals.
Yeah. Yourself, Mr. Tandoh.
For me, I want to get to a point where I can train up a couple of MCs
Yeah.
that will be able to provide a service that I provide and give them the sort of guidance to get that. My business has already increased, so we now sort of taken other services like decor, catering. So we've just launched our catering services as well, which is very, very new. But hopefully doing well. That's all through MT Events, and just to create a bigger brand of MT Events, being able to provide more than just sort of your part planning coordination, but catering, decor,
Yeah.
photography, whatever it is. It's almost like a one-stop shop. And then from the MC side, I want to definitely have like a group of MCs that almost like I mentor, and they go out, they work. If they got questions, feedback, they can come to me as well.
Oh, amazing. I mean, I appreciate both of you coming on today, man. It's been an absolute pleasure
you very
having you
much.
on, sharing your journey, sharing your knowledge. And obviously, one of the main reasons I got you on here, because I want a major discount when it comes down to me doing my wedding. So I'm not even just asking for a discount. I'm asking
I didn't
for
hear none of that. You know?
a family 100% discount.
Who the hell are you?
I didn't hear
You
none
see
of
how
that.
quickly it changed? I've known these guys for years now, since we were kids.
Since when?
All of a sudden,
Sorry, I don't speak English.
you don't speak
I
English.
know.
Guys, it's been a pleasure.
I just wanted to say one more thing.
All right, say it, then I'll cut it.
Thank you.
So yeah, if anybody needs
Yeah.
photography help,
Yeah,
please email me. I'll try my best to help you in any way, shape, or form.
amazing.
I want the UK to do well, and I want us to expand as photographers. So yeah, if you need any form of help, please shout me.
Yeah,
Drop me
let us
an
know.
email, Instagram. I'm sure Mr. Tandoh will do the same.
I won't.
All right, he won't. But
Of course I will.
train you.
Of course.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Let me know. Reach out.
Now, I'm definitely going to put all your details down below anyway, so
Yeah.
in the information box you can have all the information.